so nervous, anxious. It is the start of my birthday week, and I have actually been struggling a little bit with what I wanted to do for this year's birthday because it's such a big milestone. There was an idea that was planted to me that when I turn 40, I will party really hard in Ibiza. But the thing is, it wasn't really my idea, you know, it was my ex's idea, other people's ideas. And at the time I thought, yeah, that would be so cool. And then turning 40, as a single person, you know, I really had to sit down and think about, okay, what do I really do? What do I really want to celebrate this big milestone? And I wanted to do it for me. So in this video, I want to walk you through what I'm doing for my 40th and my thought process and certain things that I've reflected on. I wanted to do something that, first of all, makes me feel empowered. And second of all, I wanted to do something that capture me as a person, the way I look, and especially how I feel at this age. And as that thought process came to mind, what I have decided to do is actually getting photos taken, professional photo shoot, but not just any professional photo shoot. It is actually like a spicy photo shoot. I feel like that will be the best way to capture who I am, and I also hope that those pictures will reflect how I feel about myself. I want to do something that focuses on me for once. I am meeting the photographer actually in Orlando. So the theme today is that I am not like putting on anything like heavy. So I'm just gonna keep it light, keep it simple, and let the pictures speak for themselves, I guess. As we get older, I feel like it is so important that whatever decision you make, it has to come from a place that you really think about what you want. You know, I think when we were younger, our people-pleasing tendency tends to be a little bit high, but at this age, not so much anymore. Hence why I really encourage you to really think about, when it comes to your birthday celebrations or other special events, to really think about what you want and not just what the society deem as normal thing to do on those occasions. And yes, of course, I still do want to have, you know, a little bit of gathering with people that I care about on the actual birthday. But essentially, if I'm honest, if I could really choose one, this will be it. And I think I am pretty much ready. So the photographer is waiting upstairs in the hotel room. Let's go meet him. I am so nervous, anxious, excited, all the above. Wanting to do something that I genuinely wanted to try or made me happy for my birthday brings up something very important. In the world that we live in now, it can actually be hard to know what you truly like and even who you really are. We are constantly influenced by other people's opinions, trends, relationships, social media, what looks good, and more importantly, what seems popular. And somewhere in all of that, it is easy to lose touch with yourself. And that's why I think it's so important to try new things, experiment, and spend time with yourself. Do things alone sometimes. Go to a new cafe alone sometimes. Take yourself to dinner. Try a new class by yourself. Travel somewhere new. Start a hobby. Not because you have to do it alone forever, but because experiences teach you about yourself. New experiences can show you what excites you, what drains you, what feels aligned, what doesn't, what kind of life you actually enjoy. And reflection is actually the key part. After you try something, ask yourself, did I enjoy that? Would I do it again? How did I feel? did that feel like me? And this is exactly what I did after this photo shooting session. And the answer was yes. So trying new experience on my 40th birthday taught me that this was something that I really enjoy, and it is a one step closer for me knowing and understanding myself. And that really is a gift in itself. And then everything changed. Not even 24 hours after, I got a phone call from my brother telling me that my mom was in intensive care. And suddenly, none of my birthday stuff mattered. Within 1 hour, I was booking flights to Thailand. I had no plan, no time to process. I just knew I had to go. The only flight I could get that day was the one connecting through the Middle East during the conflict. But that also didn't matter. When your loved one is in critical condition, your priorities become very clear. I didn't have time to be scared. I didn't have time to think. I just needed to get there. And honestly, I wasn't sure if I wanted to film any of this. And you know what? Sometimes the biggest lessons do come in the middle of chaos. Seeing someone you love and care about, especially someone that you look up to, someone that has been your strength for all your life, being in a condition where they can't really do much by themselves, they can't breathe by themselves, is extremely difficult. It's also made me realize like a lot of things about life. There's a lot of perspectives that has hit me seeing my mom the way she is right now, still in hospital. And the first one is that it just makes me realize that, and I know I talked a lot about this before, about how important of health and why I work out and exercise, because I want to be in my 70s and 80s and still strong, running around. It really solidified to me that if you don't have health, you actually have nothing. Like, health is absolute everything. You may have heard this saying before. I don't know how it goes exactly, but it goes something along the line of, a poor man wants many things, but a sick man wants one thing. And it's never hit me this hard how true it is. Health is absolute everything. We talk so much about like success and money, appearances, but when health is being taken away from you, everything becomes secondary. So looking after yourself, spending time looking after your health is really not selfish at all. There is a reason why on the airplane you should put a mask on yourself first before you help others, because if you're not well yourself, you won't be able to help others. Right now, as my mom is very sick, my brother is also sick, and some days he is not able to go see mom. And if I don't have the health that I have right now, there will be nobody that will support mom to go through this difficult time that she's fighting through. It's just so important to look after yourself first. And I think in a society these days, a lot of things, those are actually very important for you to have first before you look after other people, is deemed as being selfish or greedy. Health is one of them. And also wealth. I can't imagine how my mother is going to be looked after if we don't have the financial security that me and my brother have built now. She wouldn't be in the same level of care that she's getting. So having a good health, trying to build something for yourself, that financial stability, is not selfish at all, and it's not greedy. You have to do all that for yourself first so that you can use those resources and ability to look after other people that you care about. Lesson number 2 that I learned in these past couple of days being in the hospital with my mom is that life is very, very fragile. So stop postponing yourself. Everything can change in a second. We are not immortal. And I don't want to get too morbid here, okay? But anything can change really in a second. I don't know how much we actually think about that or realize that we can be walking one day and we can injure ourselves and be in hospital, or anything can happen. One phone call, one diagnosis, a single moment, it can change everything. And because of that, how I want to live my life forward, I will no longer postpone myself, and you shouldn't postpone yourself neither. If there's something that you want to do it. If there's a person that you want to see, go see them. If there's something that you want to say to someone, bloody do it. I don't know why we're holding off. I'm so sick of all these online advice, especially when it comes to dating. There's so much advice online about, so many rules, don't call straight away after date, wait for 3 days to text back, or don't do this too soon, otherwise they're gonna think you're desperate. Don't do this too late, because otherwise they think that you don't care. It really doesn't matter. You might not get another chance. Just do what your heart desires. And yes, I understand that being vulnerable is risky. Vulnerability is risky, right? You never know how that is going to be reciprocated. But I strongly believe that connections can only be built via being vulnerable. Imagine these two conversations. Your coworker asks you, "How was your weekend?" And you respond with, "It was fine." What kind of connection does that build? Nothing. But imagine another conversation and you said, it was amazing. My family came over. I almost burned the burgers, but we had a good time anyway, and we enjoy eating the burned burgers, or whatever that is. That can build connections. We are so afraid of being seen these days that we guard ourselves and we shield ourselves. We don't do things that we want to do or are supposed to do because we don't want to be seen or perceived in a certain ways. And of course, I understand that not every person deserves your vulnerability. So I'm not saying just be vulnerable to everyone, but I'm sure there's a certain group of people that you can be vulnerable to, you can be yourself around, but we're still postponing our true self. We're still postponing what we want to do because we want to play this stupid game or don't want to be seen as certain things. The last lesson I learned about life, and this is probably kind of about love too, but I think it's more so life. It is very important to choose your partner or your life partner, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, very wisely. I talked about it in my moving vlog. The lesson I learned from the book, The Almanac of Navarra Vikan, that there's 3 important decisions that one will have to make about their lives. And one of them is where they live, second, what they do for work, and third, who do they marry. In that vlog, I talk about where they live. But then in this vlog, I want to talk about who you marry, or basically who you pick to be your life partner. I've never felt how much of an important decision that is up until now. Who you choose to be your life partner is the most important decision you are ever going to make in your life. Because if we take away the romance for a second, if we take away all the good times, because life gets very real and sometimes life gets very tough. And that person is the person that is going to be with you during those tough times. This person is the person that is going to massively influence the quality of your life. Do you trust that person enough to make major decisions for you? Do you trust that person enough to walk on those difficult paths with you? What me and my brother have been having to do, or the decisions that we have been having to make about mom's care because we are her next of kin, really helps me looking at how everyone should choose their life partner. Can you trust this person when you're sick? Is this person going to be the same person to make a decision whether or not you should stay on life support? It gets that serious. Life does get that serious. Do you trust that person when life stops being fun? Do you trust that person to show up for you? So guys, don't choose your romantic partner or your life partner willy-nilly, just because someone is hot or they are exciting. No, that's the wrong way to do it.
run outside at the park in the middle of Bangkok, but it's just too hot. It's too hot. It's like 35 degrees Celsius, almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, going back to the hotel and train for my 5K run over there. I want to talk about aging because I think we're just living in the world where ageism is alive and real, and a lot of us are really afraid of getting older, scared of aging, and deem it as something so negatively. And I have felt this in a long time, actually, like these past couple of years, that aging is actually not something to be afraid of and actually something to be thankful of. How many people actually get to live to this age? You know, especially seeing what my mom is going through right now. We don't all live until we're like 70 and 90. And I think the reason why there's so much negativity towards aging and getting older is that we are focusing so much on what we are losing, which is youth. But there's also a lot of things that we gain. We gain better perspectives about life, we gain wisdom, we gain peace, we gain the knowledge of ourselves. So why not focusing on that? And once you do that, you stop dreading every single birthday, like how I've been these past couple of years. It is truly something to celebrate. And I'm ready to celebrate again when I turn 41, 42, 50, 60, because it is such a blessing and something to be grateful for. But actually, before I end this vlog, there was another life lesson that I didn't mention earlier. And that's, don't take life too seriously. Seeing what I've been seeing these past couple of weeks, spending time taking care of my mom, who is still in the hospital, a lot of things that she was stressed about, a lot of people that she was stressed about, at the end of the day, it really did not matter. All those people that she was stressed about or trying to please or making them happy, they aren't here. They aren't here next to her. So don't take life too seriously, guys. Laugh a little bit, live a little bit. As I was talking about health earlier, you'll be amazed how stress and our mental health massively impact our physical health. Yeah, I think that's kind of the end of the vlog. It's a little bit scattered. Like I said, I didn't expect this vlog to be this, but here's real life, and here are the lessons I've learned as I go through these very tough and emotional time. I'll see you in the next video. In the meantime, look after yourself, take care of your health, and don't take life too seriously. Bye.